Of face. The face is a region of body which extends right from hairline above to chin below and the base of mandible. On each side it extends right up to the ear. This whole region is designated as face. It is bounded above by hairline, below by chin and the base of mandible, and on each side auricle. Now what is important that the forehead is common in the scalp as well as face. The very important point regarding face that the skin of face highly vascular, and because of this very fact the wound of face bleed profusely, and because of high vascularity the healing very fast, and therefore the plastic surgery gives good result. Let us see about the blood supply of face, especially arterial supply. If you look at the arterial supply, the arterial supply comes from three sources. The first one, the facial artery, second one, the transverse facial artery, and the third, arteries accompanying cutaneous branches of trigeminal nerve. The main artery which supplies face is facial artery, and this facial artery, I am running this probe along the facial artery on the face. It is a branch from external carotid artery. We will discuss details about the external carotid artery afterwards. Now look at this. The facial artery enters into the face by winding round the lower border of base of mandible at anterior-inferior angle of this muscle, masseter. Now here it enters into the face. Look at this artery, facial artery. It is running upwards, forwards, towards medial angle of eye, where it terminates by joining dorsal nasal artery, and throughout the course it gives number of branches. The first branch is named as inferior labial artery. Here it is. Inferior labial artery. Name itself indicates it supplies lower lip. Now another branch is superior labial artery. As the name indicates, it supplies upper lip as well as ala of nose. The third branch arising from facial artery, lateral nasal artery. It supplies dorsum of nose, and as we know, this artery terminates by joining dorsal nasal artery at medial angle of eye. Now apart from this facial artery, few more arteries are there, and the another important artery is transverse facial artery. Here it is, transverse facial artery. The transverse facial artery is a branch from superficial temporal artery, and this superficial temporal artery, one of the terminal branch of external carotid artery, as we will discuss details about the external carotid artery afterwards, but the superior temporal artery is running upwards above the ear, and it gives transverse facial artery running transversely and passing across this masseter muscle, and it supplies adjoining part of face. It supplies masseter muscle, it supplies parotid gland, it supplies duct of parotid gland and overlying fascia and skin. The third source, the arteries accompanying cutaneous branches of trigeminal nerve, which includes supratrochlear artery, supraorbital artery, and the mental artery and the buccal artery. All these small arteries, they contribute in blood supply of face. Now, if you concentrate onto the facial artery, it is very obvious it has got tortuous course, and this tortuosity permits mandible, lips, and the chin to move freely. And pulsation of this artery can be felt at anterior-inferior angle of masseter muscle, this point, opposite to the base of mandible. The venous drainage of face. The veins, two main veins, receiving various veins from the face. The first one is the facial vein, and another one is retromandibular vein. Now we look at this facial vein. It is formed by joining of supratrochlear vein and supraorbital vein. These two joins each other at medial angle of eye and running downwards and backwards. Along with this facial artery, it runs behind facial artery and reach to the lower part of face where it joins anterior division of retromandibular vein. A stands for anterior division. Here is the retromandibular vein within the substances. It is represented as a dotted line because it lies deep to this parotid gland, and it has got anterior division, it has got posterior division. So here is the anterior division. The facial vein is joining anterior division at this point to form common facial vein. Now this common facial vein opens into internal jugular vein. Now another vein is retromandibular vein. As we know, it divides into two, anterior division, and here is the posterior division. P stands for posterior division. And the posterior division is joining posterior auricular vein. Yes, posterior auricular vein. They join each other to form external jugular vein. External jugular vein. And this external jugular vein ultimately drains into subclavian vein. Now look at this retromandibular vein. Now this retromandibular vein is formed by union of superficial temporal vein, here it is, and maxillary vein. These two join each other to form retromandibular vein. Retromandibular vein running downwards deep to the parotid gland, and at this point it is divided into anterior division and posterior division respectively. The anterior division joining facial vein to form common facial vein, and posterior division joining posterior auricular vein to form external jugular vein, and this vein get opened into subclavian vein. The dangerous area of face is nothing but the ala of nose and upper lip and adjoining part of cheek. This area is called dangerous area. Now in this diagram only one side is visible, another side also a dangerous area, and this area is designated as dangerous area because here the facial vein communicate by deep facial vein to pterygoid venous plexus. We will discuss details about the pterygoid venous plexus afterwards. The point is that pterygoid venous plexus communicate to the cavernous sinus, very important sinus within cranial cavity, and therefore this area is called dangerous area. And the important point is the facial vein divide of valves, and as we know this vein is communicated by deep facial vein to the pterygoid venous plexus, and pterygoid venous plexus communicate to the cavernous sinus through emissary veins. And the facial vein, a very important point regarding facial vein, that it lies over the muscle directly, and because of this very fact, the movements of muscle initiate the spread of septic coli into the cavernous sinus through deep facial vein and through pterygoid venous plexus. to the cavernous sinus by means of emissary veins. Now this area dangerous because the infection in this region is very common and it is almost impossible to immobilize upper lip and area of nose. And as we know, another point is that the facial vein is valvulus and communicating to the pterygoid venous plexus, and there, because of this very fact, doctor very often advise to the people not to play with pimples of this region by squeezing the pimples, because there is danger that squeezing may cause infection in septic boli may enter into the cavernous sinus, where it may lead to the thrombosis. Thank you very much.